I mentioned the, working or doing our activities during the day, and then for the most part, if we can, I know a lot of people have trouble and difficulty sleeping. Sometimes I do too. And I think it's a sign that something is preventing us from entering into rest as God, this gift that God gave us. So we have the weekly Sabbath day. God provided for us at creation and commanded it to the entire nation of Israel as a eternal covenant that we see in the Ten Commandments and also in the book of Exodus chapter 31. And then some of you might be aware, I know Jonathan Cahn wrote a book called Shemitah. Some of you might pronounce it Shemitah, which is the sabbatical year. So there is a rest every 7 days, and there's a rest for the land every 7 years. And there's a connection between the man and the land, because Adam, man, was taken from the land or the ground. And there's actually an etymological connection between the word Adam, and the word ground, Adamah. Adam was taken out of the Adamah. And both of those things were given and commanded a rest. So we've got the weekly Sabbath, and we've got every 7 years we have the sabbatical rest, or the Sabbath for the rest, the Shemitah. And then we have a similar thing every 50 years. The Jubilee years, the 49th year and the Jubilee years, which I'm not going to go all into that right now. But one thing that I guess I've never heard anyone talk about is that right now we're in the 7th month. And during the 7th month, we have a number of festivals, and particularly the Feast of Tabernacles, which we're in, I believe to be the Sabbath festival, a festival of Sabbaths. And it is in the month of Sabbath and I'd never really thought on it as much, I think, as I had today, that we have really a sense of Sabbath every day, a little bit of Sabbath when we lie our head down at night and rest. We have a weekly Sabbath. We have little increments of Sabbath during the day of breaks. And then a whole month of Sabbath really is provided. That during this month we're to go out of our normal routine and become more in tune, I think, with the things that are really real and enduring, and help us to reset and give us a new sense of perspective and that sort of thing. And so that's really what I wanted to say to you today is, and if you haven't ever participated, if you don't understand what I'm talking about and you would like to know more about that, feel free to email me or talk to somebody who knows about these things, about the Sabbath and the Feast of Tabernacles and all of these things. Nowadays you can find lots of information on this stuff. It's a lot easier too than it used to be, for sure. But I just want to encourage people to, and it's something I think you have to learn how to do. Resting is not just something that you automatically can do. And so give yourself permission to take a break once in a while of macro and more macro intervals of rest. That there are seasons where you're going to be building businesses or working on things, maybe self-improvement, whatever you're doing, studying, working. And it is necessary to take a break. It's necessary every day to take a little bit of a break, to weekly take a break, and to within the year have the month that is more set aside for taking a break and becoming more renewed and refreshed. And it's just like this weather that we're experiencing today. It's very refreshing after the hot, oppressive weather that we've had for quite a while, to be able to pause, to break, to stop, to rest, and to get replenished once again and renewed. So if you're out at a festival, or you're at home, or wherever you're at, or you're watching this later, I hope that you will think about that a little bit, of the concept of rest, and begin to set apart places in your life to rest. And a lot of people, even, I think, that so-called keep the Sabbath or observe the Sabbath, I don't think that they're getting rest a lot of times on those times. And because I think many times in the past, even though that I'm involved in this stuff, and that we're doing services and things, I found myself very exhausted at the end of the day. And you got to wonder, and I think you got to ask yourself at times, of who or what is driving me all the time, that I'm unable to rest, and what is being stolen from me. And learn to cultivate rest in your life, so that the rest of your life will be more fulfilled and more complete, and you'll actually be able to enjoy it. And I think that sometimes, and I know there are people that I have lost, and recently there was a person that passed away suddenly at a pretty early age. And people think a lot of times that they can cheat, or they can go around God's system, that they know best. And I think sometimes when that happens, people end up, sometimes we do things the hard way, or we do things the real hard way, or the easy way, or the real hard way, that sometimes people just go and go and go, and then maybe you end up getting your rest for the last several years of your life all at once in a hospital bed, not being able to move or work because you didn't do it the right way to begin with. And sometimes maybe it comes all at once, where the clock suddenly stops, and you never rested, you never took a break. And so I would just encourage you to do that, to take a break, and get outside, take a walk, and learn to rest, learn to take a breath. And who are you trying to prove anything to? Ultimately, it's going to be you and God are all that matters, really. Ultimately, is who you've got to answer to, and your parents or other authorities that are legitimate authorities. But take a break sometimes. Have a good day.
Tell people how to email you if they do have questions.
If you do have questions, or just want to disagree with me or agree with me or whatever, you can contact me at goldenparadigm@gmail.com. Golden, Golden, Paradigm, Paradigm, @gmail.com.